All right, y'all, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is?
Red Panda Day!
All right, guys, it's the 10 at 10 for March 26th of 2024. We've got some great plants for you today.
Guys, get excited. We got a cool lineup of 10 plants we'll be talking about today. 20 actually going to list on the website at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's MrMaple.com, the family mail order business. We ship directly to your door, so check us out.
Hey, should they like and subscribe?
I think they should.
They should. Guys, let's get into it. Today we've got a really anticipated plant from the Area 51 collection. Guys, we got Ghost Dragon out here. These are some phenomenal weeping Ryusei style plants, so it's going to have that pendulous nature to it. Large palmatum style leaf. This one gets about as big as you stake it, but it's a really interesting introduction.
Now, one of the things I've learned with this plant, give it some sunlight and you can really pick up the colors on Ghost Dragon. Letting it leaf out naturally outside, you can get some purple red nails to it, which are outrageous. And then you get this sort of eerie, almost reticulated variegation on the foliage too. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. It's a ghost.
Yeah, this one, as it matures, you'll get a little bit more of that. It gets this etching in the leaf. Very neat. Consistent on the red nails. Really cool when you get that older growth, getting some more of that etching going on in it. Again, I do recommend staking this one. Much like Ryusei, I tend to stake it to about 5 to 6 feet. Let it weep down from there. Looks great in a container or a patio planter. I've had people doing these in hanging baskets, as always popular. Ghost Dragon, I think, is something extra on top of that Ryusei style. Really outside the box. Great sizes on these today, too. And these are just our standard ones going out today. Absolutely great looking plants. If you don't have one of these in your collection, I think you're going to love it, especially as it matures and kind of slows down a little bit. You get more of that weird kind of variegation going on in it. Combination is almost hilarious for the name. Ghost and Dragon, two of the most popular names in Japanese maples, jammed together into one great plant. Grab you a Ghost Dragon today. All right, guys, we got Pis Mugo Sherwood Compact.
Yeah, this is one of our most popular Pis Mugos. And the reason it's popular is because this is dense and short. And it gives you a really nice evergreen color out there. Found by Acer Sherwood in the 1950s. This tree has become extremely popular just because it fits in so many places, reaching about 2 to 3 feet in height by about 4 foot in width in 10 years.
All right, y'all, Pis Mugo Sherwood is a nice compact dwarf that's going to work zones 2 through 7. One of the fun things about this tree is it is so small and compact. At about 2 feet tall by about 5 feet wide, this is one of the perfect small conifers. You can put this out and not worry about it going in front of a window or something like that because of its small stature. It's great for the miniature conifer bed, trough, or container garden.
Yeah, it really gives a good evergreen color to pair out there with your small Japanese maples in the garden. Excellent tree to use out there. Make sure to give it good drainage.
Stay tuned. There's some fun ones on today's 10 at 10. Here's a fun one for you guys. Acer Pomum Cat Sur.
Cat Sur is one of the harbingers of spring. It's one of the first trees to leaf out, and it gives you some really nice, crisp oranges and then right to some yellows in the early spring.
Beautiful yellows. I love this one. Bright, intense oranges. As it fades, it kind of gets to more of a greenish color midsummer. Bold oranges to reds in the fall. I think this tree is underrated. You know, a lot of people are after a lot of the DeSojos, a lot of those bonsai styles. I think Cat Sur is a perfect pairing with those because you get that spring splash even in the landscape. It looked great as a bonsai as well, but you get that spring splash, that same high intensity where the foliage is kind of the flower in the early spring. And I think the leaf and its growth would lend itself really well to bonsai as well.
Late spring, this tree is a really nice yellow-green out in the landscape. It gives a livelier feel out in the landscape because it contrasts even with your darker greens. This is one of my favorite trees because it's the tree that tells you that everything's just about to leaf out in the garden. And it's one of those first ones to leaf out. And it sort of helps, you know, stretch out this blooming period for Japanese maples as they're leafing out in the early spring.
Not a Cerus Japonicum, an Acer Pomum. We get people to say, hey, do you have Cat Sur trees? And we're like, why, sure, we do. Now this one, awesome Japanese maple for spring interest. Some good sizes on these today. Grab these up. They'll have Tim doing the yellow dance in no time. This one can turn kind of a non-compliment into a compliment. You can be like, hey, you're looking kind of dumpy today. I mean, Dumpy's pretty sweet looking. This is Pis AB's Dumpy.
Yeah, this is a dwarf compact Norway spruce. Was found as a witch's broom on the cultivar Pis AB's Pygmaea, a little dwarf Norway spruce in itself. And this is an extremely, we're talking, this is a miniature conifer for the garden.
Yeah, typically this one's only a foot by foot, even in 10 years, making it super compact, super dense. Dumpy's a funny name. my kids always play a song like Dump Truck, so I got that in my head whenever I see this one. This is the perfect candidate for that dwarf miniature conifer garden. You know those railroad guys we were selling to last week? They're gonna love some Dumpy because this one is small, but it makes a big tree shape to it. You're gonna have a small kind of compact globe going on here in a very small tree.
Good zones 3 through 8, actually zones 2 through 8. This thing is hardy in much colder zones than typical Japanese maples. Fits in small spaces, great for containers. And this is a tree that you're gonna love to put out there in those small containers and just give you something very unique and special in those small spaces with an evergreen presence.
Bring back the conifer troughs. I haven't seen any of those lately. Where are the conifer trough guys at? Love a good conifer trough with a little pairing of different conifers. Some of the miniatures look excellent in that kind of setup. Now this one makes a great ground cover, so you can fill out a good area with this one.
You know I love the highlighter colors, those yellow colors out there in the garden. Golden Pacific does that as this unique spreading habit, so it can contrast well with your Japanese maples. Plant this near a red lace leaf, and the color contrast is going to be outrageous. Allow this to be that ground cover that gives you good color contrast in the garden, and this will make a showpiece out there in the garden.
Yeah, this one can get wide with age, typically only about a foot tall. They're a perfect ground cover. They're actually the perfect plant for banks where you want to fill something out. Let this one just kind of overtake a bank. Put 5 or 6 of these in and have that golden yellow color contrasting your other plants. This one is Juniper Golden Pacific. Now, it's popular for being a very durable one. This is going to look great in even some sunnier spots. Definitely recommend this one for banks, though. It's a great way to kind of spruce up a bank that's kind of looking kind of boring. You know, it's easy to get these banks around your landscape where it's too sharp for maybe some plants, but you can kind of just let these cascade, spread out. A mass planting is an excellent way to fill these in.
Yeah, and people often do mass plantings in odd numbers, like 3s, 5s, 7s, and you can put these around and they'll grow together to look like one solid juniper. And when they create that ground cover presence, it's going to command attention with that bright yellow.
Now, I have seen people stake these up. It's kind of unique. You can play with the shapes of them. They don't want to get tall at all. I mean, typically even a foot. I have seen people stake up shapes in their garden, grow them over forms. You can do all kinds of funky stuff with them. Juniper, Golden Pacific, grab you one a day on Mr. Maple. A classic from the 1700s returns.
Guys, we've got Aka Shattu Sawa. Deep red snipes flying over the swamp in the morning.
I think snipes, they just mean like cranes. I don't know the translation exactly. I don't speak perfect Japanese, but I'll tell you, something that's kind of cool is a lot of these older 1700s cultivars have specific poetry that go along with them. And this one does describe, you know, that crane emerging in the early morning sun. And it may be why you get all that nice kind of hues of red in this one. It kind of looks like a sunrise or a sunset a little bit. It's got a lot going on. Shattu Sawa, one of the first reticulated. Aka, one of the first amazing red forms of a variegated reticulated maple.
Now, this is actually one of the trees that is parent to some of the Ghost series Japanese maples. And you'll notice this has a unique form. It's not your typical upright. It's a small to mid-sized Japanese maple that sort of has this semi-pendulous nature to it. So it fits in a lot of smaller places out there in the garden, brightens up those dark places, and shows off with a really strong, deep reticulated variegation, giving you some pink colors to even cream whites. This tree is awesome, amazing, and it's a tree you should definitely add to your landscape.
All right, what do we got next here? All right, y'all, next up on the table, we got Pis Mugo Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther is a selection by Gunther Hortsman. And you'll see this sometimes listed as Pis Mugo Gunther and sometimes listed as Pis Mugo Hortsman. It's all the same plant. Hortsman actually introduced a plethora of amazing conifers. He's a conifer expert, from Hortsman Silverlock to Cerus Atlantica Hortsman. I mean, we've got so many introductions. We just recently filmed a video at the Buchholz Nursery with A.B.'s Pensapo Hortsman.
It gets so confusing.
Yeah.
There's so many Hortsmans. We gotta quit naming plants. Hortsman, Glauca.
That's why I like this one being called Gunther. Because it won't get confused with the other ones because of that. I mean, this is such a awesome little conifer. It's got silver blue in there in a dense, compact nature.
So this one's going to be a 4x4 with a nice dense habit to it. It's also going to work zones 3 through zones 8. So really good plant there. Love that smaller overall globe shape. This one's gonna be dense and tight. Again, more of like a 4x4 habit, even in that 10-year span. Nice miniature conifer.
I mean, you take this, you pair this with one of those junipers, that Golden Pacific. You put another blue in there and then a red Japanese maple, and you've just made a spectacular garden with color contrast, evergreen interest, and changing of the seasons with the Japanese
There
maple.
may be a red maple coming up on the table still that we could talk about that would be a good pairing with this.
Are you sure? Well, not yet, guys. Guys, next we've got Cerus Nightlight.
Ah, look at this, man. This is everything you need in a container garden right here. It's got a little ball top going on here. Lovely yellow colors on this one, obviously where it's getting the name Nightlight from.
Yeah, the Cerus add a unique evergreen interest. This one creates more of a ball shape, typically reaching 4 foot by 5 foot in 10 years. The yellow color is outrageous, and this is a tree that can actually handle a lot of heat. So I've got some friends down in Lower Alabama who actually grow Nightlight, and it does well for them. I mean, that's pretty spectacular all in itself. This is a tree that many people can grow in their garden and give you that yellow just flare of color in the garden.
Plug in a Nightlight from Mr. Maple today. Great size looking 3 gallons on these guys. Check out those 3s. We keep bringing it with the sizes. Let's up the ante. Next up, we've got Pis Pungens, not Corbin, Corbett.
Corbett is a Colorado blue spruce, and this is going to reach about 6 feet in height by about 5 foot in width in 10 years. Dense, compact nature, giving you this awesome blue color that everyone loves with the Colorado blue spruce.
Love the ball shape on this one. About as big as it is wide, like Tim was saying, but those blues really bring it. That color is excellent. It pairs well with everything in the garden. It brings the eye in. It gives you that mountainous feel to it as well. Really love what this one brings for just that frosted light blue shade. Absolutely outstanding in the garden. At that shape too and that size, it gives you a little bit bigger size. You can place some larger lace leaves off this one and kind of get some good play in the color.
Now we're now shipping our 7-gallon sizes through our new 7-gallon box here at Mr. Maple. And we're doing that to offer you larger plants, mail order. And guys, we're so excited to be able to start offering some of these larger plants, especially these conifers, through mail order. This is one of the first times we've been able to offer a tree this big in a custom shipping box from Mr. Maple.
Grab you a Pis Pungens Corbett today.
Well guys,
That's about it. Wait, there's something else. Bring it on out here. We got a little tree people have been talking about for a while called Red Panda. Now, it is Pandamonium here at Mr. Maple. It has hit. Spring is in full effect. Guys, we're going to be listing some red pandas today. They're going to sell out. Not everybody's going to get one. You know, full disclaimer, they're amazing plants, but they're going to sell out today very quickly. This won't be the last time we offer it this year. We're bringing to you first mail orders, so everybody's got a good chance to pick one of these up. It's a phenomenal plant. Now, a lot of people wonder, how did we go about finding this tree? There's a lot of red seedlings out there in Makawa. I'll tell you that Tim and I have been collecting Makawa seedlings since around 2008, 2009. We've went through over 2,000 red Makawas, and this was the best of the best for what we found. We like this one a little better than Bazinga, which was one of the ones we compared it to. It held its color longer. It had a deeper red. For a lot of reasons, this one was a better grower, a little more durable. Love the growth rate of it, love the color of it, love how long it held. It became our premium best red Makawa.
now I've really fell in love with this plant as a red Makawa, and the reason why, not only does it leaf out in the spring with red color and holds it longer than the others, but the new growth flushes during the summer have often been red when you give it some sunlight. And that shows that it's really got a lot more red color than many of the other Makawa types. Often those types, the new growth flushes during the summer are more on the green side. And so this one really takes it to the next level when it comes to a red Makawa selection. Now, if you're not familiar with Makawa types, they have tightly layering shingling habit. There's one of our favorite trees because they look like a little lively animal out there in the landscape. And Red Panda brings everything with that extra flash of color.
Guys, this one is patented, so we did go through the care of protecting this one, making it a Mr. Maple exclusive. You'll only be able to purchase this one at Mr. Maple. If you see it somewhere else, it's either a knockoff or they're ripping us off. It's actually one we've patented here at our farm. Now, we're going to be working to get these available a ton. So we've got these in heavy production at multiple farms now, Buckholz and here. We're going to be grafting these, getting these out to the public. So fear not if you don't get one today. It's going to be one of the first releases. They're always, quick to sell it on the very first release. We're going to turn out enough of these that it's not so hard to get. So if you miss out today, don't worry. It's coming back multiple times this year. and increasing the numbers each time. So today's going to be probably a quick release. A lot of them are going to go fast, but it's coming back, and it's a great plant. I love what this one does. Set us back. I told people the original one got eat up with a weed eater, so it slowed us down on the drop of this one. But they are in production. We've got some nice stock plants of this now, and I think you're going to absolutely love Red Panda. It is real. For all you people out there who don't believe us, it is real. And we're going to be dropping this one today. Zones 5 through 9 does great in the ground, does great in some sunnier spots I found too. If you're giving it early morning sun, late day shade, you may hold some of that red later into the summer. For us, it's the one that's held the longest, but conditions can vary. So different Macawa seedlings will react differently if you have in a shady spot or a sunny spot. I actually want to do some studies on the colors and how pH affects them. This one in the container, in the ground, and any of the trial gardens we've put it in, it's just outperformed the other red Macawas. So I think it's going to be a staple here at our nursery. It's going to find a place among Mayday and Japanese Princess and some of the all-time Macawa family greats. And I think there's something fun about the name too.
Now this one is extremely popular, and because it is extremely popular and a lot of people are going after it and not everyone's going to be able to get it, we've limited these to 1 per customer today. And so if you do end up purchasing 2, you will be refunded on that second item because we're limiting it to 1 per person. And that also means that you can't be buying it for somebody else because essentially you're getting 2 that you could be keeping for yourself.
We want to keep it fair that way, and some of our newest releases, when they're right out the gate, we're just going to keep them 1 per. That way to keep it fun for everybody, to get as many of these in the mini gardens as we can. And guys, I think you'll love this one. The reason the name came about, it was already my favorite red seedling. We had it paired away. I often tell you I like to name trees after people without actually putting people's names on them. And I was at a zoo with my children just having like the best day ever. And here comes this cute little red panda. And I'm like, that's it. That's it. So it's kind of associates time with my kids to me a little bit as well. But red pandas, cool animals, absolutely fun. The mythological red panda hitting MrMaple Day. It's going to be some happy people. How about this one? Going to be some mad people that missed out. Don't kill us. We'll be bringing them back, guys. They will return. The red panda is going to be a staple at MrMaple.
Now, guys, we do have an open house coming up April 5th and April 6th. You're going to want to be here. We've got cool rare plants everywhere, and there'll be cool people. Food truck on Friday and Saturday. Coffee truck on Friday. You're going to want to get here on Friday around 8 o'clock because there's so much to see, so many cool people to talk to, and it's just such a fun time at our MrMaple open houses. These keep getting bigger and bigger. It's like event planning now. Food truck, coffee truck. We're already planning Memorial Day. There's some crazy stuff there. Guys, there's over 100 B&B maples here. There's over 300 10-gallon Japanese maples. There's tons of large conifers in from Buckholz. You're not going to want to miss this one. It's going to be special. I hope we can shock and awe you with our open houses. That's our goal. I think you're going to have a good time if you're here. Now, one thing for you folks that are watching that are going to be attending, we are requiring everybody that's here to come inside the gate and park and get a number before shopping. So you could get disqualified if you jump out of a car and run ahead of the line. We're going to have some people out here to kind of mandate that. We're actually, I was talking to the police officer yesterday. It's going to help us with our parking. We're going to make sure we get everybody off the road for our neighbors. We want to be good stewards of our neighborhood. Last time we had some cars out there at 11. So we want to keep doing these. We want to keep having fun with them. But to do that, we got to be good stewards of the neighborhood. So we're going to make sure everybody comes inside the gate and parks first before they go shopping. So thank you all so much. Good luck today on the Red Pandas. Take care.
God bless you.
And have a great day.